talk about a few different Love After Lockup updates. First, starting off with Brooke. She ended up hard launching her new man on Facebook. They made things Facebook official on January 11th, just earlier this week. She posted this picture covering his face with emoji, but it's very easy to use like certain AI or apps to remove the emoji, and somebody ended up doing that. And here's a picture of him with the emoji removed. He's rocking a man bun. She's still kind of keeping him private, even though she's announced she's with him. Like the way she angles the pictures and covers his face with emojis, and she hasn't name dropped him yet at this time. And Troy, he has been posting on his Facebook stories, which is clever because that way he can make money off Facebook still, but then nobody can comment and ask what's up with that body cam footage or the claims that he made about the victim being Dale. But he's just been posting pictures and videos of him cooking up, and I'm just assuming that he's trying to do whatever he can to stay on Zaria's good graces so she doesn't fight with him again. And so not Zaria, but Sara made a video on her Facebook, and she revealed that the producers reached out to her recently after she made a video revealing that the show is scripted.
Hey guys, so I wanted to tell you guys something funny, or I think it's funny, before I wind down for the night. So you guys know that I was on the show. Most everybody I think that's on my social media that follows me knows that that's where you guys know me from. You also know that I haven't been on the show for a while, quite a while, a couple years actually. And equally, I haven't talked to them in just as long either. Me and Sean decided as a couple to not be on the show anymore. We did several seasons and, you know, it's over. It's not something that was meant to be forever anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that happened. It happened and now we move on. Well, you guys know that obviously I've been posting a lot lately. I've been pursuing social media and whatever and telling my story this way. Well, after at least over a year, you'll never guess who reached out to me, you guys. Yeah, the show.
I have a feeling they're going to reach out to her again after this video.
Not to ask me how I was doing or anything of that sort. They're mad. They're mad that I'm posting on social media, and they're mad that I'm calling the show scripted. Excuse me? You can literally Google it and it will tell you that it's scripted. It's obvious that it's scripted, especially the more years that it's on. It's like the more years that it's on, the more obvious it gets that it's scripted.
That is true though. I feel like in people's early days, it feels a lot more authentic, but the longer they stick around, like especially with 90 Day Fiancé, who's done by the same producers as Love After Lockup, but just like Love After Lockup too, like I feel like the longer people are on, the more played out it starts to feel.
I just find it ridiculous. I haven't talked to you guys. I'm not coming back to the show. Every other cast member, I don't want to say every single person, but most have come out to say the same exact thing. I just waited a little longer than most people, and that was just a personal choice. But then they do this thing where they like to gaslight you, right? They like to gaslight you like you're messing up an opportunity to be able to come back. But the thing is, I don't want to come back. Again, that was a chapter that I did that I'm over now. I'd rather share my life this way because at least it'll be authentic and real. Again, it's a scripted show. I've said it a million times, and other cast members have come out to say it. Obviously, they're mad that I'm saying it. Like little old me is going to affect anything. People are going to watch the show or not watch the show. It has nothing to do with me. So, maybe get better at it and start showing the real stuff, and you won't have these issues. But don't come for me for saying it or act like I'm messing up an opportunity that I may have. I don't want the opportunity. So, just leave me out of it. I haven't heard from y'all to say anything. I haven't exposed the half of it. I mean, really. There's some crazy stuff that's happened and a big reason why we're not doing it anymore. And I haven't even said the half of it. Not even a small, minute, tiny, microscopic have I touched the surface of all the shit that I dealt with them people. people. And you're going to get a hold of me because I had a little rant on social media when I literally kept my mouth shut for years over that freaking show. The audacity, right? I'm not going to stop posting. I'm not going to stop telling the truth. I am always going to be me. But I'm not going to let them silence me anymore. So, yeah. Okay, good night, guys. Just thought you should know.
Next, I want to talk about Santiba. She was on a previous season of Love During Lockup. She's the one that dated Halsey, and he got out and never ended up going with her. He ended up going with another chick who he ended up burning her house down, and he's now serving time in prison for that. And I think Santiba looks great in my opinion, but Santiba's been going through it because last week she found out that her car got stolen. This is her Jeep that got stolen, and she was woken up at 5 in the morning by police officers who were like, yeah, I regret to inform you that somebody stole your car and totaled it and totaled 2 other vehicles in the process. So they took off with her Jeep. They went flying down the street. They ran over this curb. They ran into 2 cars that we see pictured here, and it ended up pushing this Toyota through an apartment building, and it literally went into the apartment building. Luckily, nobody was hurt in the process, but Santiba's devastated because she says she uses this car to get around and take care of all her errands, and it gets her to and from work, and now she doesn't have a vehicle, and now I'm sure her insurance rates are gonna skyrocket after this. After the car wrecked into the other 2 cars and sent that one car into an apartment building, residents of the apartment building thought like an earthquake had happened, and they went downstairs to see what was going on, and they saw Santiba's Jeep smoking, but it was empty. And I guess the police showed up and they ended up letting canines loose, but they never ended up finding and arresting anybody. And next I want to talk about this police report. So we all talked about how Miley was at a New Year's Eve party that ended up getting busted by police, and I guess Miley went running off into the woods, and the stepmother and the father were claiming, oh, that's all cap, she didn't run into the woods. And I guess the great-grandmother was even claiming that Miley was with her all night, even though the police said they talked to people at the party who confirmed that Miley was there. So this is the actual police report from that night. It says on December 31st, deputy responded, and there's the address, to a house party with juveniles in attendance while the deputy was dealing with multiple intoxicated juveniles. And that's another thing. Like, at first, I thought it was Lindsay who possibly called the police over to the house. I was like, okay, maybe Lindsay got word that Miley was here and there's drinking going on. But it sounds like the officers were there to deal with this party that they had already heard about. And then after they dealt with the party, they decided to call Lindsay because they couldn't locate Miley. So it says they went to this party and they're advised that multiple people ran off into the woods. So they began to dry the roads to look for any kids walking, and a deputy began to search the wooded area. As we continue to handle the situation at the house, the other deputies found all the missing kids except for Miley Downs. Miley was a 16-year-old girl who was confirmed to be drinking at the party by the other kids. And that's another thing. The stepmother was like, oh, Miley wasn't drinking. But kids at the party snitched on Miley and said she indeed was. And they said once her mother was on scene, she began to look among the kids for Miley, and she was unable to find her as well. Once the situation at the house party was handled and under control, myself and other deputies began to search for the runaway. We spoke to Miley's mother, Lindsay, and attempted to get in contact with Miley through her, and she was unable to do so. I was told by kids at the party that she took off northbound towards the State Line Bridge, to which another confirmed that she had crossed into Tennessee. I then called Hardin County Sheriff's Office, and shortly after, Hardin was able to ping Miley's phone, and the first ping brought us to, and then it shares the coordinates, which showed just behind Taco Bell in Luca. We then had Tishomingo County ping her phone, and while we were checking the area, we were unsuccessful until an hour had passed, and 911 called to advise that the ping was now on the move southbound. While searching the girls, and that's the thing, like, you cannot dispute where she was. That it says right here, like, the police literally pinged and located where she was. So they kept trying to get a hold of her. They were unsuccessful, and then after an hour had passed, 911 called to advise that the ping was now on the move southbound. So while they're searching, the girl's grandmother, Edna Ray, I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong. She called the sheriff's department, and she advised that the girl had been with her all night. So she was trying to cover for Miley. But, I mean, the officers already knew she was lying because they had been pinging Miley's phone and knew that she had left the party and was slowly moving south. And so it goes on as, hang on, I lost my place I was reading. Hang on. So she said that Miley had been with her all night. When the deputy asked her if she had the girl and would bring her up to the sheriff's office to confirm her identity, she stated that she was not driving back to Tishomingo tonight. So she then grew aggravated, Miley's great-grandmother, and she began to give deputy a stern attitude and concluded the conversation. So pretty much she got an attitude and hung up on him as soon as they started pressing her. And it's like, okay, if Miley's really with you, then just be like, okay, guys, pull up, confirm. I can't come to you, but you guys can come to me and confirm yourself. I think she wanted to hurry up and hang up so she could call Miley and figure out where the hell she was so she could get her back home, and the police officers will hopefully believe her that she's been there all night. So after that, they continued to ping Miley's location every 15 minutes, and it was clear that Miley had gotten into a vehicle and traveled southbound on Highway 25 to Highway 72, then took Highway 72 out of Tishomingo County to Alcorn. A welfare check was requested for the grandmother's address to ensure Miley's safety. I called the dispatch in Benton County at 4:41 in the morning where she lived and was advised that per the sheriff, they would conduct a check after 7 when day shift came on duty. I then advised the parents in the lobby who were waiting that we would have to wait, but Miley's phone had arrived at her grandmother's house at 5 in the morning and was most likely safe. No further info at this time. That's another thing. Like, this stepmother was saying, oh, as soon as the great-grandmother talked to the police, she brought Miley straight to the police and it was figured out. She acted like it was a quick thing, but from this police report, this was going on for hours, that the police were searching wooded areas, searching for Miley, and they're pinging Miley's phone for hours before she finally made it home after 5 in the morning. I'll give it to Lindsay. A lot of what she said happened in this incident is proven here in this police report. She claims she was with police all night long. I think she said she showed up at the party at like midnight, 1 in the morning or so, and she was with the police until past 5 in the morning. That's a long ass night. But the thing is, it does not say who towed the car. That was the big drama because Miley's car ended up going missing. But the thing is, I don't think the police towed the car, because I feel like the police would have mentioned in the report that they towed the car. I'm not entirely 100% sure though, but I don't think anybody towed the car because the car ended up disappearing, but it ended up appearing abandoned. I don't know where they ended up finding it abandoned, but it wasn't at the house that Miley left it at where the party was at. It was found abandoned somewhere else by the stepmother, and she claimed it was towed, but how would you find it abandoned if it was towed? It kind of sounds like somebody just like drove it off, which honestly, if Lindsay did that, I wouldn't even be mad at her, because at the time when Miley was missing, before she got back to her great-grandmother's, I wouldn't feel safe with the car there either, because you don't know if she's like hiding and she's going to try to come back and get the car and then drive drunk. I mean, it might be best to take the car until she sobers up. So I don't know, but that was another big drama on who took the car. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to talk about all these Love After Lockup updates. I cannot wait till our show is on in just a few more days. But you guys let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.